Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the 49th episode of the Bitter Jury podcast for Big Brother 20. Very excited. My name's Daniel,
I'm Jacob.
and that's all we got for today. So we're going to, sorry about that.
Let's
We're gonna talk about this episode.
yeah, let's jump
Um,
into it.
yeah, before we jump into it, I'm just gonna say, hey, we got a Discord. Hop on in and join it. There's a link in the description. And if you like our content, whatnot, subscribe, hit the bell. Really helps us out. Help us get out there, and you know, and if you like it, that way you know when we're on. Okay, so with that said, let's jump on into it. Okay, so we open up on the HOH competition that they just kind of left us off on the last episode. Um, and it was a really interesting competition, Jake.
Yeah, it really was. It was broken. It broke about 3 times.
Very broken.
Yeah, it was a very simple competition in scope. You just have to roll a ball and get a score basically. You have to roll a ball down like this lane thing. And there's obstacles in the way, but those obstacles in the lane kept breaking. They, like I said, they broke 3 times. So production had to pause the competition several times, which sort of took a long time, and it wasn't a well thought out comp, Daniel.
From my understanding, it took a very long time.
Yeah,
Very long time. And I mean, I'm sure it'd be cool to play in it. I would love to play in that, jump around but to watch it, oh, it was a snooze fest, man.
yeah,
There was like zero intrigue. You're just like most of it was just looking at players going, "Huh," and then you roll the ball down a little bit. Just there wasn't hardly any drama,
yeah.
anything. It was
It
just
was,
a regular kind of looked like a fun game I'd thoroughly enjoy at home.
yeah, it was like watching bowling on TV. I feel like it was like it's
Hey,
way
hey,
more.
hey! Tyler was straight up pro at status. I
I
mean,
know,
you would
and
be very offended with that comment. I'm just saying.
that's great for him. But like, it's not fun to, at least for the casual observer, to watch bowling. Like, I feel like I would much rather be in the backyard in this case than be on my couch or in my chair watching this terrible competition. And like, they've had so many like better versions of this comp exactly where um where we don't see these problems. You know, you could just have them roll the ball once and make it a complete luck thing, and it would be way more intriguing than what it was, because only the scores were submitted like only like 3 times. So only like 3 scores actually even counted toward the competition.
Right, and especially for this HOH, which has so much writing on it for so many of the house guests. I just feel like it was a real letdown. That's why I think we're being a little hard on it.
Yeah, for sure. We're getting to the point in the game where HOHs and all of the power you can get really matters. And so to have a competition, one, be super boring to watch, two, break several times so that there's actually no flow to the competition, and yeah, and three, just be sort of a luck competition. At the end of the day, man, we could have done so much better. But yeah,
Right.
we do have a winner at the end of the day, and that person is the Ice Queen Angela.
All hail. All hail.
Yeah, she is. She said beforehand that she didn't really want to win it, but she ends up winning it. And I think it ends up being good for level six to have somebody that is firmly in their corner winning this competition. What do you think, Daniel?
Oh, I thoroughly agree. And it's super good for my guys Tyler's game.
Yeah,
Well, I mean there were better options like obviously Casey, but um, it's really good to the one person he's like super tight with, wins. I mean, he was pretty much safe unless Haley won. But other than that, it's really good for level six and Tyler. And so before we leave off on the end of this HOH competition, move to something else. What do we think of Sam's strategy during this HOH competition?
Sam has strategies now. What is this?
It's a bad one, but it's a
Yeah.
strategy, I guess.
So, like, she has decided that she's just gonna give away her tokens. She's gonna like hold them in her shirt and give them away like candy as long as the person receiving them promises not to put her up.
I,
Which
just,
would
just like
which
a
would
little token goblin. She had so many.
yeah,
That translates to so many chances to actually try to win HOH. It
yeah,
just goes back to her whole mentality of just like she doesn't want to be here. She's not here to win the money. She was a recruit who turned out poorly, which is
yeah.
kind of been happening this season a
It,
bit
it's
with
bad for
her and
recruits.
Vessel and all sorts of just unfortunately garbage players.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
oh,
But
so
yeah, Sam, I mean, Sam's strategy would have worked like week 1 or 2 when you're like, "Hey,
exactly.
hey, I will trade you some information or some power in order in uh in order to not go up this week." But we're not in week 1 or 2. We're in week whatever we're in 9,
We
and
a lot.
there's only a select pool of players that you can even nominate. So even if people had the best intentions when it came to Sam, nobody's going to be able to fulfill that promise because there's a lot of scenarios in which it might be good theoretically for Sam to go on the block.
Oh, exactly. I mean, and if you even have Singbot coming in and calling you fucking crazy, you
Yeah,
got some issues, and
yeah,
a couple tokens isn't going to keep you safe,
yeah. I mean,
unless you were already going to be safe. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's best for Sam at this point, if she even cares, like we've talked about, to sort of sit back and hope to be the Karen from BB Can 5 of this season, where she gets taken to Final Two, wins some money for herself, and all she needs to do in order to do that is keep cleaning and stay quiet and don't stomp any mud holes. But you know,
Oof. Yeah.
um,
Mud holes.
it's
That would be something she would do.
yep.
Oh
Oh
gosh.
man.
And okay, so after the HOH comp, Angela wins. It's all gravy, and the only and so they go in, and level 6 all gets in their bedroom together and starts freaking out,
Mm.
absolutely partying and celebrating so hard.
It it was
And
ridiculous.
I
Like,
mean,
this
it's
is
not a private place. They're just
right.
chilling there right next to the kitchen where everyone's at, and they just start
Yeah.
going. And then Haley just walks in and goes,
Huh.
"Oh,
Yeah.
those are 4 people who are celebrating really hard for this HOH. And last week, me and Fessy just made an alliance with Tyler and Angela won. So I feel like that we should have been part of that celebration. I don't know what
Yeah.
Casey and Brett are doing there. So this gets Haley like freaked out. Her mind is exactly where it should be. Of, oh, this isn't good. I am not safe this week. I am probably going to be the target.
Yeah. Probably should have been there. Her brain probably should have been there 4 weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
But, she it took seeing the actual people in a room jumping up and down like they're at a metal concert for it to click in her brain that, you know what? Tyler and Angela probably don't really care about me and Fess. So I'm gonna go tell Fess, and we get this sort of typical Fess response, Daniel,
oh
of
yeah. It's
"Man,
just
I'm gonna take care of you. Don't worry. I'm your man. I'm gonna make sure everything happens. Forget the fact that I'm wrong every week. Like, I know what I'm doing. Haley,
yeah,
come
we get
on."
the typical just like, no, we made this super solid alliance, man. You gotta trust. I took care of you. I
Yeah,
took care of you. I had a dope HOH, and now one of our new alliance members, which is super strong, is HOH. We are floating. We are
yeah,
gravy. I don't know why you're
mhm,
freaking out. I think you're
yeah,
going a little crazy, and you just need to chill a little bit.
yeah,
That's pretty much what Fessy said.
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's just it's crazy. Fessy is just way out to lunch when it comes to this season. He has no idea where he's at, and it's basically the theme of the season is that Fessy, who insists to every single member of his alliance while they were still in the game that he knows exactly what's going on except for on Thursday after the eviction where he's wearing a blanket usually and saying, "What happened? I don't know who flipped, guys." Like,
Exactly. And so then with all this, these discussions had, if I say like, don't worry about it. Haley actually kind of corners Angela and just kind of like, they kind of talk about it a little bit like, hey, um, I kind of see where this is kind of going. It makes sense to put me up on the block, but I also think Sam's a pretty easy target this week. And so, if you want to put me up on the block, it makes sense. I'm okay with it. I'll be a pawn. And Angela, just tells her, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes
Mhm.
sense. And then obviously Diary Room Angela's like, thank you.
She is just the queen of the season. I love her.
Nah.
She just knows how to do diary sessions. And I mean I think talking about Haley, I think she did exactly what she should do. When you're down this many players in the game, like she knows that there's nothing that she can say to stay off the block. So I mean she did the best thing that she could. And yeah, I mean if it wasn't for Fessy, it might have worked? Question mark.
No, it was never gonna work, but it was definitely the best response she could have had. Just like, don't try to be like, oh, there's no way you could put me up. I'm so valuable. Just
Yeah,
like, hey, I see it. It makes sense. I put you up last
yeah,
time. You're gonna put me up. I understand. And so it's
yeah,
the best response in her situation. And
yeah.
so once they have this conversation, uh, Haley tells Fessy that um, she's gonna put me up as a pawn against Sam, and I'm probably gonna go home. And Fessy gets his gets his hat on. He's like,
Mhm.
I'll
It's game
talk to
time
her.
for
I
Bessie. Yeah,
got it. I
yeah.
got it. You know how people listen to me? They listen to me. Don't worry your little pretty head, little girl. And so he goes up to Angela, just like, you can't put her up. It's just not a thing. Can't
She
use her as a pawn.
she
I
can't
mean,
be a
if
pawn.
if we get on veto and then I win veto, I'm obviously taking Haley off, and then you have to put someone else up. And I mean, first of all, what? Either
Yeah,
you think it's a good alliance or you don't, and you don't trust them.
right.
So obviously you should not trust them. But Fessy, he's been saying this whole time, "Oh, I trust him. It's super solid." Why
Mhm.
would you ever plant it in your new alliance head, who is HOH, who has
Yeah,
all the power in the world, that you are actually going to actively go against not only your Final Four alliance, but the HOH in a really critical week? That
yeah.
that it's just super dumb, super dumb.
Especially when the person that you're talking to is as smart as Angela is, and she realizes that like yeah, you're right, Fessy. The only way that I can make sure that one of you goes home is by putting you both up. So
Correct.
yeah, it's a really bad move for Fessy's game because he could have gotten away with the Haley and Sam situation, and maybe Sam would have went home. You never know.
Yeah. I mean,
But
that's his best option for sure.
yeah,
Excuse me.
absolutely.
Um, but so then after that conversation, he's just and Angela's just like whatever. Um, Fessy and Tyler and Haley are all in the same room, and Fessy goes up to Tyler just saying, Haley can't be put on the block. She can't be doing all this. And then Haley comes up into that conversation, just like, no, Tyler, it makes sense. And then Fessy actively is like, no, stop talking. I got you. Stop it. Stop it. And just like Toad, I hate this word so hard, but if there is an epitome of it, it would be Fessy. He was
Yeah,
mansplaining the crap
yeah,
and white knighting the shit
yeah.
out of Haley. And it was really cringy to watch.
It was it
And
was terrible. Could you imagine being Tyler in that situation? You're just
Oh,
like,
oh, I think he played it off decently well. He's
yeah,
just like, I mean, she's part of this too,
yeah,
but I see both sides, I guess. I mean,
yeah,
just how is this an alliance? If I'm Tyler, I'm like, how have these people stayed together this long? I do
yeah.
not understand what is going on.
Yep, it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. I mean, Haley's rightfully just pissed off. She says in the diary that she's not the type of girl to have a man sort of step in that way. And we sort of know this from Haley, but Fessy's clueless. He thinks he's doing the best thing that he can for his girl, and he puts his foot in his mouth. Um,
Oh, it's sad. Hardcore trouble in paradise over there on that side.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and that's just gonna continue to brew more animosity, I think.
yeah, and it's simply because Haley's a very smart person and
And
Fessy's
Fessy
very
is
dumb.
not. Yes.
Fessy
There
is
I mean
very
opposites
dumb.
attract to the point where they just
Yeah.
don't anymore, then they explode or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some sort of interesting figurative speech thing goes
Yep.
there.
There you go. But yeah.
So speaking of that showmantic relationship, let's talk about some Angela and Tyler flirtmance, showmance, whatever that is.
Yeah. It's cute. I'll give it that. It's cute.
It's
I'm
cute.
I'm here for it, but like it's not good for either of them, I don't think. At least on an ancillary level, but we can talk about it. Like yeah, I mean Tyler is falling for Angela a little bit, and Angela's falling for Tyler a little bit, and Tyler is spending less and less time with people that he has sort of made final two deals with.
Such
J-
as JC and Sam,
Sam.
exactly. And so he's really separating himself from all these other players and being in the HOH a lot. And
Yeah.
also, he knows that it's super bad for his game to get into a showmance. I mean, I
Mhm.
think his diary room about that was hilarious.
Yep.
He's just in the middle of it. He realizes, like, I'm even wearing your hoodie. And just takes off
Yeah.
and throws it like, what am I
Yeah.
doing? Why am I doing
Yeah.
this?
Why would
He
I?
understands that the showmance is toxic for his game.
Yeah, listen, I'm rooting for them outside of the house. I think they have some chemistry there. But like you guys have waited like 60 days almost. You can wait what 20 more, like
Exactly,
before
exactly.
39 more before things get hot and heavy. Like, come on, like it's like because they both know this is bad for them o- on a game level. So I mean, I could argue that if Tyler knew that his best chance at winning the 500,000 was taking Angela, then really he shouldn't care. But um, but
Well,
he
it
doesn't
also
know
makes
that
them
at this point.
a bigger target than they already are, though.
Yeah,
You know,
true,
I mean, it
true.
scares everyone else with their final twos with Tyler, knowing that he and Angela are really, really close.
Yeah,
So, I mean, not great for their games.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
also a little behind the scenes thing. Tyler and Angela were both really angry with production for asking about it,
Yeah,
because they didn't want that to be the narrative that was being portrayed, and they were also scared that they were asking the other house guests
yeah.
in their diary room about that, kind of shining more light, and that super freaked him out.
Well, because JC told Tyler, I don't know if he was lying or not, but JC told Tyler that he was asked about Angela and Tyler being close, and Tyler went in the diary room right after and was like totally freaked out, and told Angela the same, like, "Hey, JC just told me this thing that production is asking about our relationship. Maybe we should cool it." But then he proceeds to spend the night in the HOH bedroom, so he's thinking not with his brain head. I don't think.
The power of boners. What can you
Yeah,
say?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
Exactly.
this showmance, or quasi flirtmance or whatever they're trying to have it be, what
Yeah.
who does it benefit the most if it gets out because it has kind of gotten out and just not as secretive?
I mean, I guess, like I said, um, I think Tyler's really hurt by this. Um, I think JC and Brett, if they can come together after like sort of seeing this information come out, if they can get together and sort of become a power duo after maybe Fessy leaves, then it definitely benefits them because they can start to realize that hey, we're on the outs, and if they can grab whoever is left from the Haley Fessy thing, and sort of go against level six, I think it's a really good shot for maybe JC or Brett to win this game. And it gets even better if Scotty comes back in the battle back. I think if Scotty comes back in the battle back, then those three can sort of consolidate and really go against the Casey, Angela, and Tyler dynamic that is running this house right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think JC and Brett are the two people that it most benefits in the house. Yeah, I agree. So JC, you're such a
Yeah,
character. What do we think about his plan to get everyone fat in the house?
I love it. It would
I
work.
think it's the perfect strategy, honestly.
It would work. It would work on me. I would gain about 20 pounds with JC making me ice cream snacks, and I mean, it's just sort of silly. I think like JC has really embraced the sort of silly character to the rest of the house guests, and I think it really fits in with what he's been telling them. Now, of course, we know that he's not just this goofball; that he is sort of very proud of his control of Fessy and how he's been able to pit potential romances into each other and create love triangles. Like he's been sort of a mastermind at that, but it sort of
Yeah, with
further
Scotty,
perpetuates.
Fessy, and
Yeah,
Haley, and now he's trying Tyler, Angela, and Brett.
Brett. So I think it's smart for him to continue to be sort of the zany guy in front of the other house guests, especially now that the numbers are so few that people are just going to overlook JC in that if he continues to act that way, um, and he could really easily bake himself into a Final Four situation.
Yeah, Final Four for sure. I think we're definitely going to see JC there. I'm not sure how much farther though, because he just can't win a comp to save his life.
Yeah, that's true.
But another thing that we've kind of touched on a little bit of Angela and Tyler's relationship, pushing JC and Brett together. This is probably one of the first times, if not the first time, we've seen JC and Brett really talking game.
Yeah,
And we haven't seen that on the episodes hardly at all. A little bit more on the feeds, but like the
right.
episodes are finally starting to push the narrative of like, hey, these two might work together.
Yeah, well, they spent 2 episodes on that stupid Fessy and JC are gonna have a sitcom on like a Full House style sitcom, and I feel like it's about time that we sort of see Brett and JC coming together because they do spend a lot of time together on the feed studying days and whatnot, and it's about time that production sort of caught on to that fact, and they need to sort of make it make sense when JC or Brett talks about that in their final two speeches potentially.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna be I think that's gonna be the sleeper powerhouse to wake up for, especially if after the battle back. Well, actually, yeah. I think this will be the line split on the battle back, especially if Fessy goes home and Scotty comes back, who is the number one choice of pretty much anybody and everybody I've talked to and heard talking. Is just like if there's a battle back, he has the best chance. If it's an endurance comp, Scotty. If it's
Mhm,
like an aggressive physical comp, it's probably going to be Scotty. And
mhm.
even if it's just a random one like BB16 with the little cornhole roll thing, get in the hole and you're good. I
Right,
mean that's a luck thing, and Scotty is just as good a chance as anybody else.
right, and
So
if it's BB trivia too, like if it's trivia, Scotty's a super fan, so he's got that on lock. Um, so
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
Fessy won't know anything.
no, yeah, and I think Bailey is probably too far removed from the game to really care about going back into the house. That's a real thing. Like when you have a battle back, when you're super far removed from the dynamics of the house, and you've been getting sort of the spoils of the jury house, you're not really in the mood to game again. Because
Yeah, she's been out for 4 weeks. Her head is not there.
right,
It
so
cannot be there.
So yeah, again, I just think that it would be so good for Team Good Feeds for Scotty to come back into the house and make an alliance with Brett and JC and really sort of try to start devastating the level 6-3 of Casey, Angela, and Tyler.
So I mean that's the dream scenario, but what is like the likelihood of JC and Brett and Scotty all having the same like game sense and cohesion to pull something like that off?
Less than 10%. Um,
Oof.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I think what's likely to happen is that Scotty, if he comes back in the house, he's gonna run like a sad puppy dog back to Tyler and be like, "I'm so sorry. You were right. Let's work together." And he'll be at the bottom of level 7. So like like a he'll make it past the first week of battle back in that scenario because he's just somebody you can drag along, but I don't think he has any sort of longevity in that sense. The only chance he has at winning the game is by putting aside his differences with JC and working with Brett, because I think him and Brett have a good rapport actually. After their week 3 blow up, but
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. And even if you could pull, I mean, this is crazy, but I don't believe for a second that Brett will make the game move to actually join JC and Scotty, and you could even pull Haley into that
Yeah.
because Scotty and Haley are really tight. I don't
Mhm.
think Brett will ever betray level 6 hard enough to make that work. I think that's their all of their 4 best chances. They could actually make final 4, all 4 of them,
Yep.
if they did that. I think there's, like you said, less than 10%, if that, of
Yeah.
that happening. So it makes me sad. That's what I want to see,
Right.
but it's probably not going to happen.
So, along with that, let's just talk about the sort of games. The reason why that's not going to happen, in my opinion, it's that Brett and Casey are playing team style games. Casey's a football player. She's not used to playing individually. Brett has always been about level 6 first and not about his individual game. We never get any sort of diary sessions about his individual game. It's all about perpetuating the game of level 6. And yeah, I don't think that he has it in him to turn on any of those people. I think that he thinks if he can get all of them to the final four, or all of the people that he wants in the final four, I think he thinks he gets a share of the prize. But this isn't a team game, so
Yeah, he's just trying to float himself up the final 2. I'm not sure
yeah,
it's going to work.
right,
Actually, I'm pretty positive it's not going to work.
right,
So, that's what it is. So that brings us to nominations.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I mean, we talked about this a lot earlier, where Fessy just sort of shoots himself in the foot, and he makes it very clear that the best chance for level 6 to get out their target this week, which is Fessy, and he has no idea. So they need to put both of them up, and
Correct.
he's gonna go up to the HOH room before nominations and try to. I don't know what he's trying to do with this conversation. Actually, try to get into Angela's head that it's not a good idea to put Haley up still?
Yeah,
Question mark.
he I don't know, he's so far into his own head of just like he thinks he's so much smarter than he is that he thinks
Yeah,
that anything he has so much pull. I don't know what he thinks, to be honest.
yeah,
It's just not playing good.
yeah.
So,
Like him.
anyways.
Yeah, I mean, just the other night. I mean, him and Haley were talking about how lit the jury house is gonna be. So like they're trying to, they're trying to console themselves a little bit, but like it's just Fessy has no idea what he's doing in this game, and it clearly shows. Like there was a great moment where Fessy is just rambling on the HOH bed, and the Ice Queen is just doing her makeup in the bathroom, and she's just nodding, but and saying, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, Fessy, you're totally right." But she's winking at hit the camera in the vanity the whole time, and it's just fantastic. Um, and yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
Fessy.
it's
Yeah, I mean, so once the nominations put up, Tyler had actually told her to do this. Angela put Haley's name or face up on the board first, and then bam, there's Fessy's, and just the look on his face, just classic Fessy of, oh, I don't know
what
what's
just
going
happened?
on. It's, I mean, that's what I live for nowadays. I just have to with Fessy because I can't expect him to make anything smart happen. So I
No.
just can't wait to see his face of just sheer like, how did this go wrong again?
Right. I
Oh.
can't wait for him to be mad at Julie for not giving him information outside the house. Like he's gonna be like, "Why can't you tell me? I'm like going to the jury house. They got me out. Like, why can't you tell me what's going on?
Yeah, it's
Julie, come on.
it's
You
not
know
it's
I
not a
got
good
you,
look for him.
girl."
Not a good look for him. And so with that nomination, that's where the episode leaves off. Um, so now we're gonna talk a little bit about speculation of like what's gonna happen from here, and also a little bit. It's not spoilers really at all, but a little bit of feed talk about what happened immediately after the nomination ceremony, and so pretty much, they all split off. And what is crazy to me is Fessy is the happiest he's ever been in the house.
Mhm.
He just loses his any sort of competitive edge he ever had, and what little he had, and is just smiling, happy. Now finally I can get away from the cameras. It'll be me first or Haley first, and then I'll follow right after. They even talked. Fessy's like, you know what? What would they do if like they vote you out, and then I just walk out with you? Then we can go to the jury house. It's gonna be lit, away from the cameras. We can get our smoochy smooch, whatever on.
Yeah.
And
We
he's
love
so
Bailey.
checked out at
Bailey
this point.
loves us. Like it'll
Oh,
be awesome.
he's so checked out, so
Yeah.
checked out. And he actually had this beautiful. I really hope they show it next episode, because if they don't, I will be incredibly disappointed. This beautiful, just him and Haley laying on a bed, and him just staring at a camera, just recounting literally everything he's done wrong in this game. And he goes on for a solid minute and a half or whatever, just every poor decision. Win
Yeah,
HOH, actually vote out my best, my only ally. Just keeps going, just
yeah.
everything, and it's beautiful.
And I love that
Um,
he makes Haley relive her worst moments as well. Because let's not pretend like she's just some innocent bystander here. She's played an awful game also.
well,
Um,
actually, I actually kind of disagree with that.
oh, really? Okay.
I feel like she's just gotten thoroughly unlucky. She could have made better game decisions by trying to jump ship when after maybe the third, fourth time you got blindsided.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, she made an excellent decision as the BB hacker to go after Tyler. That
Yeah,
was a beautiful
absolutely.
decision. Only problem
100%.
is her feelings got a little bit
A
too
little
much in her
bit.
face, and she just couldn't take feeling like that ice cold bitch of just seeing Bailey just getting tore into,
Yeah.
thinking that she was the hacker. She's like, no, it wasn't her. And I mean, I understand the sentiment, but at some point, you have to stop worrying about what others think, and you have to start playing your game. I'm not sure it would
Right.
have changed much, honestly, because of where they were at and their strategic alliances at that point. But I don't. I think that was a genius move. And then Haley's HOH just got hacked to death, and
Right.
it wasn't her fault at all.
Right.
And so the two times that Haley had like decent power, I think she did really well with it. It's just she got thoroughly unlucky.
You're
I mean,
forgetting. Yeah.
Tyler's played a super good game, but he's also gotten really lucky.
Oh,
And the
for
kind
sure.
of opposite has happened to Haley. She's gotten so unlucky,
I would
being in the
pause it.
wrong room at the wrong time,
Yeah.
being just. I feel bad.
I would pause it though really quickly for you that she had a substantial amount of power during Festi's situation. She totally gave up on the uh let's not nominate Scotty plan. Like she should have put her foot down and be like, no, that we're not doing that. Don't be an idiot.
She
Um,
tried. She tried a lot.
she tried a
She
lot,
tried a
but
lot.
she
It's
eventually gave
Fessy.
in, and it's
He,
just
he
like,
he he thought he did the greatest thing in Big Brother ever
yeah,
when he got him out. I mean, I don't think there's anything he could do to change his mind, especially with JC in his ear and the way that we've kind of seen Fessy thinks about Haley, just like on her
yeah,
gameplay, mental ability. I mean, just right here before, telling her to talk, he's got it. He's talking to. I I'm not. I don't think she
yeah.
ever had a chance to convince Fessy of anything.
Yeah, I mean, I just think about, and I guess this goes to your point of like how different this game would be if she had not gone with,
Her and
Scott.
Casey swap spots in
Yep.
rooms. Bam!
Mm-hmm.
This game gets really good for
Because
Haley.
she
Really
thought
good.
that she thought Tyler was cute night one and like um and could have easily been in the Angela spot if she had been in the right room. And yeah, it's sad that she wasn't. And I, I mean, I think she could potentially get another shot to play this game. Um, hopefully, she does it single and with Fessy nowhere near her. Um, but
Right, coming like as a previous BB member coming to onto a future season.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I definitely see that. I
I
want her to.
I want her to, but I want her to as again like a single person, and I want Fessy to be nowhere near the picture. I mean,
Right.
I think that romance
That will never
really
happen.
likes um outside of the house. So like yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so we have the late blossoming showmance on the block. Um and
On the block?
yeah, uh-huh, the Fessy and Haley showmance.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess it's a little late. It's
Yeah. It's like a
um
mid-season showmance, which is pretty rare, but like,
yeah. Okay, so some final thoughts. Who do we think's in the best position going into the next couple weeks?
Tyler. Tyler's in the best spot there is. Um, like, and it's getting a little bit boring because he doesn't deserve to be in the best spot, really.
Oh, why not?
I mean,
Who deserves to be in it then?
I feel like JC has put in so much social work that like Tyler is in there by virtue of how lucky he's gotten, and it's gotten a little bit boring. Like, I still love Tyler, and I still want him to win the game, but he's had so many things break his way. He's had Faute break his way every single time, and I feel like JC, the work that he's done, because he's done it all in the diet room, is not getting rewarded. And I
Well,
think
the
that's
problem
partially his fault too.
with JC is he can't win a comp, so he never has power. He has to
Right.
try and convince other people, and he does pretty well with convincing other people. But
Mhm.
usually, it's on the Faute side to do bad things. He's never done anything to level 6 or convince level 6 is something that they weren't going to do already that they
Yeah.
hadn't already figured out.
Right.
And I don't think he's going to ever be able to do that to level 6, to be honest, unless he somehow
Yeah.
gets into Brett's head and does that split like we were talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean,
I believe JC's in a really good position as well, but I think
uh,
Tyler is
yeah.
he's gotten lucky, but
I think JC's actually in a terrible position. Let me be clear about that. I think like he is at the bottom of the level 6 contingent. Um,
well,
I think
he's not a level 6 he's not in level 6.
well
He doesn't even know level 6 exists.
he's level 6 adjacent though. He's against the Fessy, Haley, what's left of Faute. So
Yeah.
um,
Well, I guess Sam's on the bottom.
he's in the Sam spot, and I feel like people view JC as more of a snake than they view Sam or Brett. And we'll talk more about that dynamic in a future episode. But I feel like JC is in a really bad spot in the next couple of weeks.
As long as the battle back doesn't go his way.
Yeah. What is the best scenario for him in the battle back? Do you think?
I think we already talked about it a little bit, but I'm going to say Scotty wins. Him, Scotty, and JC, Scotty, and
Yeah.
Brett come together and then pull Haley into that group. They
Yeah.
separate from level 6.
Yeah.
Now they have the numbers and they start
That's,
whittling away level 6.
yeah. That's the dream scenario. I think that's
Somehow
going pretty
get
feasible.
Sam and Casey on the block, pick off one of those, and then boom, you have numbers. I
Yep.
think that's the best possible situation for JC because
Yep.
he'll be the leader of that group.
Yeah, for sure. He does command a lot of respect socially. So if anybody's able to pull it off, I'll give it to JC. And if he can pull that off, he deserves to win, in my opinion.
Oh, if he pulls it off and gets numbers, yeah, hands down, he should deserve to win. But that's if he can pull it off,
Yeah.
which we've talked about being thoroughly unlikely. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
Sam is in zero position in this game. She's up in outer space.
yeah, she's a giant nothing burger. She's just
She's
coasting.
she's looking down and cleaning the house and making fart noises to herself and laughing at herself on the stairs. And that's just what she's entertaining
I mean,
herself
that's
at
what
this point.
happens when you go crazy in the Big
Yeah.
Brother house. There's
Mhm.
not much to do other than go more crazy.
Yeah. Um, Casey's in a really good position, but I don't think she can win.
Nah,
Um,
she'll
she's
coast.
she's in a good spot to be in a final two. And then take home 50 grand and never be heard from again in terms of Big Brother.
So long as she doesn't get into a situation where they run into a bitter jury, where she has a really good chance of actually winning Big Brother 20. If
Yep.
she gets to a final two against Angela,
Or
almost for
Tyler.
sure she wins.
Yep.
Tyler, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, you're gonna have to make the case. If the
Yeah.
jury's super bitter, then for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't
That
think everyone's gonna be that bitter.
it's not a case of merit for Casey. It's going to be whether or not people want to vote for Tyler, and I feel like there's enough people that might not want to vote for Tyler, but she'll
Yeah.
definitely win in a bitter jury standoff against Angela, which is her best shot to win the money.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, easily. That's pretty much
Angela's
the
got
only way she wins,
zero
going up
shot.
with Tyler and Angela. So
Um, yeah, I
yeah.
think Angela's got zero shot. Let's see, Tessie and Haley are on the block, so yeah, they've got almost zero shot. But
Yeah, they've had zero shot for a while, let's be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, I mean that pretty much covers this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Be on the lookout for a live feeds update coming tomorrow. We'll touch on a little bit what happened after this episode up till this point, and
yeah,
then what has happened tomorrow
Yeah.
will be. And just to mention again, we have our link to Discord in the description. Also, if you enjoyed the content, subscribe,
Hit
like
that
all that
bell.
jazz. You know how that goes. Oh yeah, that bell, ring it, ding it. So yeah, with that, thank you guys, and I think we're gonna
Yeah.
wrap this one up.
Peace.
See you, boys and girls.